Okay.
Okay. Can you see my screen just to make sure that everybody
Yes.
can
Just
hear me?
put on the presentation mode.
Oh yeah, I will.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. So thank you everyone for being here. Oops, I did that. So my name is Ruben Chipuli, and yes, I'm on the path of going hopefully next year for my doctorate degree. Sorry. And my applied practice, I did it at the Drayson Center office, at the Office of Preventive Care. So the one thing that I named this program or applied practice, I named it lifestyle medicine and health coaching, because those were the two things that I really loved about all the program, or the two things that I believe we can, well, me, I can use the most with my clients. Okay, so just a little bit of overview of what I'm gonna talk right now. It's I try to meet some competencies, obviously, because we are studying. So the first thing you're gonna hear about me is the lifestyle medicine pillars. And then I add one more pillar, and you'll see what it is right now. And then I have another slides about health coaching techniques, some technological tools that I used. And if we have time, I have some like success stories from my clients, from the visitors that I had at the Drayson Center. I only put two because I know it's very short time, but hopefully you can. I'll try to go so you can hear at least one of them. So from my competencies, I chose 3 or 4. The first one is just propose strategies for health improvement and eliminating health inequities. And for that one, what I did is to talk to the Drayson Center director and see if we can not only give this to the students, faculty, and staff, but also for the community to see it as a trial run. If this is something that's gonna help the community, if it's something that can work later on. So that's what I did in there. And then integrate knowledge, approaches, methods, values, and potential contributions from multiple professions and systems. I'm gonna get to that later on. I worked with Dr. Ohms, which is a preventive care graduate. She's right now at the School of PA, physician assistant. So I've been working with her, also with Dr. Lani, with the nutrition students, with nurse Salam Stefanos, with the nursing students. So I was trying super hard to bring as many schools as possible to the Drayson Center so they can all see what we have there, and hopefully we can do something like the 8 schools together. And then my other one, it was assessing one's strengths. So that's like personally, and weakness in leadership. So I try to create something for the community, for the students. I try to be there for the students as much as I could, to give them advice or health coaching sessions, to make or create groups with students with the same like goals and or planning. So per school, some of the students were coming to me to see the scheduling and all of that. So that's what I did there. And apply preventive skills, which is the most important for me, to design a health intervention that addresses lifestyle-related diseases. Well, that was the program as a whole that I did. So just a little bit of what is lifestyle medicine. Lifestyle medicine, I love it so much because this is a holistic approach, and it focuses on everything that we're just learning on preventive care with Dr. Dos Santos, Dr. Medina, Dr. Arichega. So it's like preventing, managing, and reversing chronic diseases through lifestyle interventions. It's a comprehensive framework, and it offers, for healthcare practitioners and also for individuals. And what I try to do here is to explain to the best of my knowledge to lay persons or with without a doctorate or a master's degree, so they know what lifestyle medicine is. Also, so the goals is that it aims to prevent and manage conditions like heart disease, diabetes, obesity, hypertension through evidence-based approaches. So I was very straight on point with the people in there, that everything that I was saying, that everything that I was sharing with them, it was based on evidence-based medicine or research-based. So it's not just things that I believe because it works for me, but it works for a certain population. And also it aims to prevent and manage cognitive conditions. That's just a little bit of background. And the key message in here or in this slide is just that it recognizes that lifestyle choices, significantly determine health outcomes and quality of life. So my main focus with this approach is quality of life. It doesn't matter where you are. If you are an athlete, if you are obese, or if you have diabetes, you can always get better. So just a little bit of background, the ACLM, American College of Lifestyle Medicine, they have 6 pillars, but I added one more. So just a little bit of these 6 pillars. They do nutrition, physical activity, stress management, relationships, sleeps, and it says here tobacco cessation, but it's risky substances. So in healthy eating, I focused, it all depends on who came with me at that point, or where they, there are some people that they were already eating vegetables. They were eating like 5 different colors of fruits, during the day or during the week. And so it all depends on where they where I started with the nutrition. For some of them, the full plate diet still works because it focuses on fiber, it focuses on vegetables, and incorporating all these health habits that sometimes we just don't know that we don't do it. For physical activity, 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity, or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity throughout the week. And then for stress management, that is also a little bit different in each one of them, just because some people that came with me were student physicians and other ones were just community people. So they have different stresses in life, and we need to approach the person at their individual stress level and what type of stress they were having at that time. So I also touch a little bit relationships, because connection lately is really important for everyone, and just have a support system. It is really important. So I emphasized also on that. Sleeping patterns. The majority of the people that I had with me were students or residents or clinicians. So sometimes their sleep was not the best. So we talked about that also. 7 to 9 hours a day. At night. I'm sorry, at night is kind of the guideline. And the last one was avoiding risky substances. We talked about tobacco, alcohol, and other drugs. So that's just a little bit of the background here. And then the one pillar that I add, this is not from the ACLM, but from a personal perspective, for me, it is very important to have spirituality in everything that we do, or create, or make, or think. So for different people, this was kind of challenging, just because we have a school that is super diverse, and we have a lot of backgrounds in our school, which I appreciate so much. So spirituality was challenging, but it was a good thing to add. So why adding this pillar is, it's research just shows how stress reduction and coping mechanisms just by praying in the morning, at night, have like a higher power, a God that you can rely on, just overall emotional well-being. It is really important for us to, as we go throughout the day, we rely on someone that is like taking over us or taking care of us. Social support, we can find that at churches, at different mosques, maybe, if that's your religion. Also, the motivation for healthy lifestyle choices. For a lot of our religions that we have around here, healthy lifestyle choices is one of the things that the Quran or the Bible talks about. So that's why, that's another why I put it up there. And community and shared values. As a community, we share a lot of things, and one of the things is spiritual, right? So as we are in the Blue Zone, we are in Loma Linda, we are Christians, the majority of us. But even if you're not a Christian and you are like any other background on spirituality, there's groups that we can go there and have that community. So that's why the spiritual pillar was very important to me. So just to go for the next one, the next component that I added to my program is health coaching. So health coaching, it's been a long road with this, because you know, the first part of our degree is just learning a lot of things about diseases, and we know what to say to people right away, and we try to advise people at all times, because we know, you know, all this information that we have in our brains. But I'm pretty young at health coaching, but at this stage, even, I found out that it helps a lot just listening to people, just giving them a moment to share what they are going through, and asking the right questions might trigger some like changes, and might trigger some like different thoughts, like you know, that so they can shift to a better lifestyle choice. So the focus here, well, first of all, what is health coaching? And it's just facilitating healthy behavior change. I try to develop like inner wisdom, identifying like values that the person has, because probably sometimes they were like very different of my values. So I had to be very respectful of that, and just hearing that person and try to help that person with those values that they have, always positive. The areas of focus was mostly physical activity and nutrition, but there were some students that they wanted to work on stress management, on lifestyle choices, on well-being enhancement, and also sleeping patterns. But most of them, they were like, oh, I don't know what to eat, and I don't know what to do in exercise, because I am very busy all day. So those were the areas of focus that we did. And then, so my strategies in here, it was motivational interviewing, which it was hard, but I think at the end I was getting better with it. And positive psychology. Positive psychology, at least for me, is not as hard. I am a very positive person, so if you say something to me, I can just translate that into a positive thought, or into a better way of rephrasing that sentence. So that's why I put it in there. And every time they were, you know, feeling blue, you know, like kind of down, I try to rephrase those questions, paraphrasing into a more positive one. And I could see that the change of thoughts and expressions in their faces like switch. Also, so my connection with my clients, at the very beginning, I try to click on something. So the report and the client-centered approach was really helpful for me, and also for my clients. So those are the two other things that I try to do every single time. So let's go to the next one. So for technological assessments, there's a lot of things that we can use, but thankfully at the Drayson Center, we have the BIA, the bioelectrical impedance assessment, the in-body 570. So I use that a lot. And if I say 500 people, that's like too little number, because it was a lot of people that weren't there with me. And for the ones that were doing health coaching with me, I did that as a starting point, and then every month or every 2 weeks, it all depends on what they wanted to do. So the BIA, they were showing results for our clients, for my clients. So they were very positive about it, and they like that. Also, so there we have like blood pressure monitors, and some of them they have trackers or smart watches, either Samsung or Apple Watches or Fitbits, whatever brand. It doesn't matter the brand, as long as they track steps, the number of steps, the number of miles, the time of physical activity that I do. Because it's very different just to move than to do physical activity, than to do an exercise program. So it is very different on that. So some of the Drayson Center activities that I completed there over my applied practice, sorry, during the summer, it was, so I had several health fairs with the nutrition students, with the nursing students. I worked with a PA class doing in-body assessments. Actually, I did that again on like yesterday, and I'm gonna go and talk over what it means and what each specific section means for the PA on Monday. I need to go to the PA to remember the building, but I need to go there and explain, to give a class with Dr. Oms. Also, health coaching sessions and the in-body assessments for community members, for Drayson Center members, students, and staff. And also, while doing my my applied practice, I was trying to develop something for the fall, because I just wanted I wanted that office to be open 24/7. So in fall, there is a program called Lifestyle Blueprint Program, which I'm gonna be the presenter for that. Hopefully a lot of people sign up. It's gonna start in November. And I'll keep doing the in-bodies for everyone. I'll keep, well, I have a new job, so hopefully Dr. Norton can start all the, well, she already started, so hopefully I can start on October 20th. And then from now on, I'm gonna start helping students. So I need to talk to each program director to see if somebody needs clinical hours, or if the master students, if they need practicum hours, so I can be there for them and I can help them with whatever they need. But that was, so where it says summer, that's what I did on my applied practice, and the fall is my upcoming things that I'm gonna need to, I want to do just because of what I did during my applied practice. If you haven't seen this before, oh, there you go. Sorry. So if you see that at the Drayson Center or at the webpage of the Drayson Center, if you have a phone, you can go to the QR code, and that will take you to my email and to my phone number. You can always send me a text message. Hey, I need an in-body. Can you be there for me? And then we will set up an appointment. You'll come with me. I'll do it for you, and I'll explain everything that you need. And also, as I said before, there is this new class called Lifestyle Blueprint Program, and it's going to start November 1, finish on December 1st. Obviously, there's no class on November 24 and 22 and 22nd and 24 because Thanksgiving. But I'll be focusing on the pillars of lifestyle medicine. So my goal for that is to get all the science behind it and make it easy and simple for community members. If they ask for resources, I'll give them to them. For researches, I'll give them to them. We have a lot by now from all the classes that we have taken. So I have all of that information. So those are the two things that I was doing also while doing my applied practice. And if you can share it with everyone, that would be great. And oh, there you go, success stories. So I have two. This is the first one. Hopefully you can see it good. So this is an in-body results sheet. And then can I mark here? Can you see my pencil? Here, this person started weighing with a weight of 220 and percentage of body fat of 34.5. And throughout my, I saw this person around 8 to 12 times. And by the end, this person was, so that was probably like a 3 weeks ago, it was 212. And then the percentage of body fat, it was 30.7. Also, if you can see here, well, I don't know, I just wrote over it, but even the skeletal muscle mass increased from 82 to 98. So that was a great thing to do. I was like, oh my God, this is, I didn't know that you can, like us working together was gonna give those results. So thank you for this. You'll give me an A on my applied practice. This is such a great result for that person, right? But also encourage me to keep reading and keep, doing this for life. And then this is, let me check. Oh, how can I go to the next one?
And you see the visceral fat also decrease from 13 to 10. That's a great one.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's true. Yep. Where is it?
Yeah, that's a
well. It was actually it was right now it is 13. Yeah, but it was more than that. Yes, I don't have the other one. I was trying to look.
So you don't. Oh, okay. I
yeah.
thought
So it was
10.
like it was like 14 or 15, and now she's 13 or he's 13. I don't remember who that is.
Great
but
job.
yeah, I was so happy to see that. Also, so here, the other thing that I was trying to emphasize, it was the extracellular water, because not many people drink water as we should. So I was like, like a lot of like this 50%, 60%, 65% of water in our body, that's a good thing to have. And, they were like, okay, I'm gonna buy my bottle that says 18 ounces and this refill for the second part of the day, so I can be accountable of that. So I'm like, oh, great idea. Yes, let's do that. I'm gonna buy the same thing so we can both, do get a better intake of water or water intake. So that was one of the things that this person came up with. So I was really glad that she did this. And then
Hello everyone, my name's Yvette.
Okay, so
for a few months now.
Oh, do you know how to? Oh, you're right there. Sorry, I'm just. Okay.
Ruben has been my health coach, and it's been phenomenal. I would like to begin by saying during my sessions with Ruben, he's great at actively listening, engaging with me, asking me questions, holding me accountable, and he really does provide good support, great support throughout my journey. And I chose to do health coaching with Ruben. If I'm being completely honest, I wanted to do the in-body test, get that done, and man, let me tell you, I was not happy with my results. I did gain so much weight ever since I started nursing school. I wasn't eating healthy, and I would just pack whatever food or snacks that were available and go. And I think health coaching has been helping me a lot by helping me setting goals, keeping myself accountable. I am establishing better healthy habits. For instance, I started to read the label a lot more because, man, there's a lot of added sugars on what I was eating. And he would have me do an intake. During the first couple of sessions, I was doing a lot of like the intake, writing it down. And I didn't even know I didn't have enough fiber in my diet. And that was really helpful. And then before my sessions with him at the Drayson Center, I was just unhealthy overall. I had gained up to 185 pounds. That's a lot. And now after a few months, I'm down 10 pounds. I still have a ways to go on my health journey. But I'm not in competition with anybody but myself. And speaking with Ruben, being able to talk to him in regards to where I'm heading has helped me a lot to navigate a better and healthier lifestyle for myself.
That's another one, but I know I just like passed my time. So if you want it, I can just give it to you. But it's just another story of a student saying what he accomplished. And the one thing that I need to print, because that's the one thing that I say to people, is that nothing is impossible. The word itself says, "I am possible." So that's just one encourage thought that I give to my clients. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ruben. It was one thing that was good is that you are able to continue what we start in Drayson and not lose track of the Office of Preventive Care. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. And this was great for the testimony was great because our machine is still being used and effectively. Okay, we will pass now to David, and then if we have time at the end, we will make some questions from the audience. David, are you ready?
Yes.
Go ahead then.
Okay, my name is David Hunt, and I'm in the preventive care program. I guess everybody here, they know that. And I'm working and living on Indian reservation in Arizona. It's called Hopi Indian Reservation. It's in Palaca, Arizona. It's in the northeast part of the state. It's inside the Navajo Reservation, so it's engulfed by the Navajo Reservation. And because I'm working here and living here, so the opportunity was a lot to do different things. And I work in the eye clinic and I do lots of eye exams. And obviously diabetes is a major problem with most of the American Indians. And we have lots of issues with the eyesight. So IHS, which is Indian Health Services, and then also each tribe, depends on where they are located, they have their own programs for the diabetes groups, they call them. And I decided to be participating in these diabetes groups. I did not start these ones. They already been established for a long time by IHS and tribe, but they have different programs and different activities in different locations and different hospitals. So what I decided to do after I talking to the nurses and the dietitian, which usually they run these groups, I decided to work on the prevention part of it, mostly getting people involved, which actually they don't have diabetes, but they can come to this group and they use the education and the tools and then also the services they offer. So my focus was on that part. So I'm gonna start with a video and hopefully, and just remember, I'm in the Indian reservation. We have a DSL here. We don't have internet connection, the same as the city. So hopefully everything works out as planned, and let's see if it's working.
Cultural changes that have occurred in American Indian communities that has a significant impact on self-esteem, self-identity, and a sense of empowerment or hope for the future. And when we have a population of people that feel disenfranchised or disconnected from tradition and from hope for a healthy future, that's going to have an impact on social behavior and whether or not people live in a healthy way. So not only is there unhealthy components of diabetes, there's also so much diabetes that what we've seen is a culture of diabetes. And when people grow up in a community where their grandparents, parents, aunts, uncles, siblings, even children have all gotten diabetes, they've gone through the complications, including blindness, amputations, kidney failure and dialysis, and early death. If you have a non-community member who's a healthcare professional telling them that this is preventable, well, that might not be very believable based on the culture of diabetes and living with it. For example, in my own medical practice, I've had quite a number of patients who say things like, I don't have diabetes yet. And what are they telling me? That they believe that they're going to get diabetes. And when you think about things historically and things from a cultural perspective, really the culture of diabetes has created generations of people who believe that it's inevitable. And in many ways it is. If we don't have healthy choices, we don't have community control and self-determination, in many ways, for some people, it seems like it is inevitable, but it doesn't have to be that way. And part of the social determinants of health is also a sense of hope for the future. And if people lose that sense of hope and their self-esteem is lowered, that's going to have an impact on self-destructive behaviors. And it's also going to make people think less about things like diabetes prevention. So we have to look at this from a much broader perspective, to not just think about physiology and food intake and physical activity, but what is going on in the behavioral health realm and the mental health realm of a community, because that's going to have a direct impact on health-related behaviors.
Okay, so as the video said, that there is a lots of factors involved in diabetes for the American Indians. Most of them related to obviously their locations. There is a historical event happened for so many years. So we are not going to go through all of that, but you have to know many of these people live in the very remote area with limited access to healthy food or anything we have like in the big cities or even the smaller cities. So you have to approach this problem there based on what they have. I was concentrated on the way we could use the services is available to us and they can access it. Like I wouldn't spend too much time on the smartwatch and apps and stuff, because most of the people, they don't even have those systems. They don't even have access to internet. Some of them, they don't even have a phone or the car. So I was trying to concentrate on something they could follow, they could use or is available to them. So we did some weekly sessions, we did group discussions. We used lots of videos and presentation. Most of them, they were lives, and actually we did. So you're going to see in the next few slides. And then we had feedbacks from the members. And as I said, I was concentrating mostly on the people, they actually don't have a diabetes, because most of these kids, especially the younger one, they expect to get diabetes, as the video said, because most of their families have diabetes. And when they come to eye clinic and I examine their eye, I say, do I have diabetes? So they expect that. So you have to work on that. To prevention is a lot. Then also get the translator, because some of these people, they don't speak English. So they still speak Hopi. And when they come to clinic or they talk to me, they still speak Hopi. And then we have to use the translator, and then also use the tribe counselor sometimes. Now, as I said, the IHS has its own hospital, tribe has its own hospital. So this one is the Hopi Health Care Center, which is in Palaca, Arizona. And then the tribe has its own services, which is the Hopi Wellness Center. So they offer lots of programs, and we're going to see some of this stuff. an activity, and we got involved in that, and I promoted as much I could to the members. Usually they don't show up for some of the activities. And this is one of the group we have. It's called Hopi, a Special Diabetes Program, which we did a presentation on the first couple of weeks to get as much as people we could come in. And then we have a tribe member, we got involved in that. And as I said, depends on where you're doing these things. Obviously, this is on the Indian reservation, so it's very important to pay attention to their cultural, especially the food they eat. Like in here, the deer meat is very important. So if you tell them, oh, don't eat meat, that's not going to work for some of them. So you have to be careful where you are and who do you talk to them and how. So the cooking habit, and then you use the local resources because they have certain recipes, and I have some information on that. Now, for example, they have their own plate. They call it my native plate. So I was trying to use that one instead of bringing up the Canadian food guide or the American food guide, because it makes more sense to them. And then also, this is one of our recruitment table. We concentrate on the children. And then we always had fresh fruits in our sessions. So this is one of the sessions we had. We always had them in the corner just in case if they want it, so they can get used to it. You can have fresh fruit even in this location. You just have to plan for it. And then obviously I still was pushing some of the stuff we learned in the preventive care, the plant diet, but I was trying to relate it to the stuff they could get in this location, the stuff they could afford, because you have to remember that this community is very low incomes. Most of them, they don't have jobs and they live on the government help or the tribe help. Now, this is another video which is mostly relative to their plant diet because they have some programs.
White corn is one of our relatives. We feel that she is alive and she wants to do the job that she told our creator she would do, is to feed our people, to nourish them. The work that we do, and this way we would lose everything.
For a few thousand years, Potawatomi people have been incredible farmers and have grown lots and lots of varieties of crops. The seed library is a place where we take crops which are disappearing, rare and endangered Potawatomi vegetables, and we grow them out and we restore them and put them back in the hands of native farmers. George Martin carries the Potawatomi tradition of making damnabu or corn soup. In our seed library, we have 76 unique varieties of corn. Each one has its own cultural identity, its own unique flavor.
After a while, when we stir it, you'll see how tough it gets to stir it.
Our corn is a lot different than other corns which are out there. If we didn't have the seed library, these traditional food might be gone forever. Within our seed library, 80% of the varieties which we take care of are rare or nearly extinct. Some of the varieties we care for here, we're the only place in the world which has them. This one's going to be a nice one. 4 years ago, when we first got Nunsignug, our flower corn, we only had a half a canning jar, a very small amount of seed. We've grown it every year since, and now we have enough that we may have 100 bushels full. That's enough that next year we can plant 6 or 7 acres of just this corn. That's a huge increase.
It is important that we take, that's what we were sent down here for, to take care of Mother Earth and all her creations here. And that corn realizes that we're back using it again, and that we're going to use it in the feast.
Okay, so as I said, I was trying to be provide this some of these patients. There is options available for them even in these locations, and even not having agricultural settings we have usually, because the landscape here is very, very inhospitable to the agriculture. It's a very high elevation, up to 6,000 to 7,000 feet, and a constant wind, and it's very, very cold during the winter and hot in the summer. So that was the part of some of the stuff we focus on the diets. Then obviously physical activity is also important. And we had, again, presentations, and this is one of our tables for the tribe member to give them some information when they were coming to the meeting. And then this is some of the activity we did. So obviously we said we concentrate on the kids. Now the first, this picture here, and when the kids, they come, we take them to the rehabilitation center because we have some equipment there we could use. And then here, some of the elders, they came in and we're trying to talk about the sugars and the fats and the stuff. So we're trying to let them to teach that to their kids, because some of them, they speak the Hopi language. And then this one was one of the walks we did. We usually try to do walk at least after or before one of the sessions to practice basically what we were talking about. And then this is one of the bigger activity we did, which we were trying to tell them, you have to use your environment, whatever you have. You don't need to go to the gym or any equipment that's walking. And I mean, you're living in the middle of nature. So that was no excuse for them to say, no, I don't have anything to exercise. So we did that often. And then, oh, sorry, this is another video we're going to talk about, because they have a little bit different view on the.
Well, when you're cultural wise on our end as Navajos, we were always told you get up before the sun, you run before it comes up, every morning.
Yes, you don't sleep all day.
You don't sleep. I mean, all these.
We were living on the reservation.
Well, no,
There's not a lot of connection. I mean, I remember hearing that as a little kid on both sides. And my parents are different tribes. My mom's Hopi and my dad is Ute. And there's lots of this traditional education that teaches you how to be a good person, how to grow up, how to fit in your family and your community.
Yeah.
And there was specifics about having a healthy body and being able to be a healthy person. But I think, a lot of it definitely with our people has to do with this, trauma that's happened with the interaction of the white man coming in and changing our ways of living. And so it is really a foreign concept. And the more the generations come, the farther away I think that kids are from these ideas, that they're just stories instead of like really things that will help you to have a better life now.
See, I don't think it has to be as complicated as we make it. What's one of the best resources? Outside, go walking. But we kind of don't bother to take advantage of those very simple things. I think it can be fairly common sense as to knowing what's good for you to eat and what's not good. Sure, I think there's a little bit more information that can be available, but we make that information available at the Urban Indian Center. There are people there that can tell you about what you should eat and about exercising, but people don't seem to be taking advantage of it.
So they're coming to the center. It sounds like, do you have a high number of people who participate in activities at the center?
See, and once again, it depends on what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, Thanksgiving feast, hundreds.
Okay.
But health fair, 100.
So as you said, there is a little bit of the kind of encouraging the Met tribe members to use the services, because the services is there. But as he said, if there is a Thanksgiving feast, lots of them come, but the health fair, they don't show up. So we're trying to get them involved. And this is some of the activity we had for the adults and the kids. We had Zumba nights, and then we had one for the employee and the tribe member. They could come in. We had also some run activity, which is scheduled ahead of time. Obviously, this is for October 7th and the month of October. But we offer the services, and I'm sure after I'm still working there, so I'm involved in the activities, but I'm not running that group anymore. So I'm sure they will keep going on. Now, one more thing is we've concentrated on the shopping, because as I said, because of remote locations and not having access to the grocery store, there is no grocery store here. So you have to drive about 65 miles to get to the first grocery store. They have some programs, we're going to see on the next slide. They distribute food on the reservation, but everything is basically canned. There is no fresh because some of these people, they don't even have a refrigerator to keep those. So most of the food you will get here is in the can, and we concentrated on that, how to do the shopping, how to use the coupons. So surprisingly, here there is still newspaper, there is still actual physical coupons, and they have access to the, whoever has the phone, they can still digital, but still we have a paper coupons. And then how to use this shopping basically smart and use the tools and then get the cheapest food they can. Now, one of the things we work on a lot with the patients here and the non-patient, basically the ones that come to the group, it was the reading the food labels and then comparing them. So I went with them for the shopping. I let them to the shop. I let them to pick up the stuff, and then we'll bring them back and we'll take some pictures and compare them. And I said, what do you think? Is now do you think is healthier or that one? And then when they read this label and then they compare the stuff, they say, wow, I ate that much. Because like in one of these, it was saying 3 crackers is 80 calories. And I said, do you eat 3 crackers? They said, no, if I open one, it's going to be like 15. So I said, suddenly now you have like 500, 600 calories just by that crackers. And then one of the other concentration was on the canned food because they use lots of canned food. And some of them, they said, well, I'm eating lots of beans. But then I said, okay, have you pay attention to the labels? Because like this one says 100 calories per serving, but then it has 3.5 serving. And then also not only the calories, you have to look at the other stuff. Like this one has about 400 milligram sodium or the salt. And so I said, you have to watch for everything. So we lots of time we spent for them to pick up a food, and then we'll discuss it in the group. Like this one has 690 calories for 1 can, and it has about 600 milligram of salt. So this now gives them a little bit a better idea. Then the prices, and I said, let's look at the prices. So as I said, when we go for shopping, I'll let them to pick up the food they want because I don't want to force them to, okay, you have to eat this or that. Then we'll come and compare them. Like in this one, I said, okay, you're gonna get a strawberry, 1 pound, 97 cents. You get a whole watermelon or a whole cantaloupe for $1.47. Here, you get a bag of cookie. Even with the discounts, it's $5. Or this cracker, even with the discounts, it gets still $2. So then I guess they will decide now. Most of the obviously now they know when they go shopping, they have to pay attention to the prices, the units, and everything. Then something like this, I said, okay, you pick up a salmon skin for $13, but you could get actual salmons sometimes cheaper or a little bit higher, but you're gonna get the actual one. So that was another exercise we did when we did shopping, because we did some trips to the store. So I want to watch them, like how they shop and stuff. Now, then, as I said, we had paper coupons. So, and this one was a good one because this one I said, look, side by side, your bag of chips is $3. The whole half a gallon milk is half of that. Or here you have blueberries or blackberries. And this one, you have the chip bag almost twice on that when you compare that. So I let them to see the differences, to see the choices they made, and then hopefully they're not doing that. One more thing here, lots of these patients, they always say, oh, I eat healthy, I eat wraps, I don't eat the bread. And then I said, okay, let's look at the back of the lab. So this is one, the front, okay, it has tomato, basil, sun-dried, look healthy. And then when you look at back, one is 220 calories. And then when you look at the sodium, 560 milligrams. And then they will notice that, wow, maybe it's not that healthy, especially if they don't eat just one and you have 2. So it makes a big difference. Then again, comparing the prices between like the nuts, because one thing I noticed that obviously the plant-based food and the nuts and seed is not a very common things here because either the game. They don't have access to it often. So when you compare the prices, I said you're paying the same amount if you had almonds or 1 pound or the bag of the cookies. So just practical way to show them, like if you put them side by side, which one you're going to choose, and now they know which one they're going to choose. And when it comes to the cooking, one thing what I mentioned that about the food distribution, they have this program called FDPIR. So they will receive some foods, and then also they receive instruction how to do the cook. So this one provided by IHS, but also they have their own chef. So I have this video here.
People need to understand that all of North America is indigenous land. It is native land. People tend to forget that there was a vibrant native culture living in all parts of North America. And food is really the piece that's going to help us move forward into a brighter future.
So just a matter of the time, I'm going to go a little faster here. So there is a recipe we provided to the tribe members, some of the activity we did. And then also I found a recipe from the very famous chef, which they're actually American Indians, and they published this recipe, and the Indian Health Services uses this one. So they have access to this one. Now we did one cooking presentation. Actually, we did two, one for just the group and one for the entire tribe member, and we invited everyone. So this is some of the picture we did. Our group provided all the fresh fruits and the vegetables and stuff. And this one was the outside. So lots of people showed up, employee and tribe member, even the Hopi radio. They have a Hopi station there. They came and they promoted a program. The tribe member get involved if we encourage them and recruit them. Now, one good thing came out of this groups is they started to doing the food logs and physical activity log, because I told them you never know what you eat until you look at back 1 week or 1 month and see, oh, did I eat all of that or didn't do this? So I told them to keep a record of this after we did practices. So now they're doing that, and this is one of the came out of that one. And then, as I said, when we're looking at the strength and the weaknesses for these activities, obviously being preventive care, having the health coaching knowledge, and living and working on the reservation was the plus. But obviously limited resources, remote location, and not knowing the custom and language and getting used to it, that was the weakness, which I'm still working on that. And the outcome of this group, what I wanted to be is the people eat healthier. They be aware, not just because it's a diabetes group, everybody thinks about the sugar, but I said, no, just don't think about the sugar. You have to think about the other stuff. Without the physical activity, diet is not going to help you. So you have to remember that. And then also lots of the basic stuff, like when they do activity, I said, just try to replace the junk snacks with the healthiest snack if you have the access to it. So we use some of those examples in the groups and the shopping as well. And then whenever you go around this reservation, you will see this sign: be Hopi, be happy, be healthy. So in case if you ever pass through it, you will probably see this sign. This is the references. And if any questions at this point.
That was great, David. I really like it. There's a lot of things that you did over there, so I like it.
Good, thanks. Your presentation was good too. Yeah, sorry.
Good job. Good job. Good job. Anybody has a comment or a question for both Ruben and David? We have a few minutes, at least 4 minutes more.
Well, can I say something, Dr. Dos Santos?
Yes, go ahead.
Congratulations, Ruben and David. Great presentations. Particularly, I was looking into the the health problems of the Indian reservations, because the statistics tells us that there's a great number of diabetics, and like your presentation said on the video, some teenagers, they already expect to have. I saw the same doctor before, and he interviewed a 16-year-old boy, and when he asked him if he has diabetes, he said not yet. So that was a statement that got my attention. A disease that can that is fully preventable, and then you're expecting to have it in the future. So there's a lot of work to do, not only in those communities, but also, here outside. The other day on one of my presentations, somebody approached to me. He said, "Are you doing something for the Hispanic community?" As much as I can, I will. I'm doing. He said, because there's so much diabetes and hypertension that doctors don't even know how much, statistically speaking, is around. So thank you so much, David, for taking us to this reflection on the health problems of the Native Americans.
Well, thank
Urged you.
The good thing about David is that he is gonna do his final project with Native Americans, and we are all excited about that. So that was great.
Thank you.
So just a comment for Abel. Thank you, Abel, for that for your words. And I'll be doing a program for El Sol Neighborhood Educational Center. I'll be doing it in English and Spanish for next week. But we can talk more about it later, because I know it's we just have a few minutes. But I'll be doing that. If you want to join, you're more than welcome. So you can help me out doing this. So you can just text me if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, tell us about that, because I am starting from the fall preventive care news, and then whatever we are doing in the community. And the first one is gonna be able in the Fontana group there, Fontana Church, Fontana de la Esperanza, something like that. And then because he did a health fair there and a health group, but the ones that are preventive care here, whatever you are doing, wherever conference you are going, even if you are going for continuing education, we want to promote and put a little bit of a blurb in the preventive care news.
Yeah, so I can send you the
That sounds good.
Okay, guys, it's about time. Thank you, everyone. And our next grand round is going to be in November, and I will talk about a lecture that I have on charcoal, the benefits of charcoal. I believe it's good for preventive care. Ala, you want to say something, please? Or just you are clapping? Okay, just clapping. Good. Good presentations, guys. So I'll see you guys around. In 1 week, I'll be back in the United States. So,
hey, Yuppie.
Bye-bye, guys. Thank you.
Hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista.